This particular item I got for a steal at an estate sale. Focus on that. And it was pretty rusty, and the mechanism that turns the magnet on and off, push button function, this was not moving at all. How did I solve that? Okay. Once I got it moving back and forth, oh, by the way, that WD-40 wasn't the only thing. I also used a small hammer to gently hold it, strike it, start getting it moving. It moved a little bit. Then I went to a bigger hammer, use a bigger hammer, and this one did the trick. It moved it. WD-40 helped it, and once I got it moving back and forth, put a few drops of light oil on it, and I checked it, works great. The next thing was to remove the rust. Now, I'd already set up on my table here, trying to keep things neat, because you learn after a while this could be a messy process. I was going to clean up all of these surfaces, and I was getting ready to mount, just get some, this is a nice flat glass plate. An engineer friend of mine told me that glass is actually flatter than granite. There in the background, what you see is a huge piece of kitchen countertop granite or whatever not, and the engineer guy tells me that is not as flat as glass. I'm like, wow, are we honing something down to the nearest, millionth of an inch? I'm not really worried about it, but this is definitely lighter. The glass is definitely lighter than 60 pounds of granite. Anywho, I was going to, throw some, and all you need is a spray bottle with some water. That's not what's in there. I've got this labeled. It's water. I was going to start going on this, and I said, but wait, let's follow our philosophy and attempt the mildest approach first. So, scratch that idea, no pun intended. Guys, you can get this. Some of you might recognize what this is. This is used in wet sanding on your car when you're doing body work and you're doing prep work for painting. It's a wet sander block, and it's flexible. And man, I have used this in so many different applications. And in this case, it really cleaned up. Just gently spray a little water and just gently go over all the surfaces. And if you're a member of my group or you're familiar with the patina organization, we appreciate the history of so we don't want to remove lovely tints and patinas on antique and vintage items. What we do want to do is remove rust and dirt. And the really cool part about it, I don't know if you can see this, but there we go. There's actually different metals here involved in the construction of these guys. These are awesome. And if you take care of them, they will last a lifetime, and they'll be your buddy. So yeah, wet sanding sponge is all I needed to clean this bad boy up. And I will demonstrate that now. This is the post that goes with it. Screws in here. Okay. And let's just see how easy this is. Now, you would think it being round, I might be tempted to use this fine 320 grit sandpaper, and I just might do that. I might throw it onto a drill press or my lathe, spin it around and polish it up like that. But again, I like easy. I like quick, simple, easy. So let's just try this first and see how this works. We're going to just put a little water on our wet sanding sponge here. And here we go. Different ways of doing this. I could try putting it on the, try this method. Okay, for this piece, I'm thinking, yeah, that's not doing a lot. And I think it's because there's some really tough encrusted gunk on this rust. This is going to take a more aggressive sanding approach. I don't think I'm going to try it flat. I'm probably going to wind up putting this either on a drill, a handheld drill, or possibly my lathe, and let that do the work for me. Let's see if this helps any at all. This is 120 grit. That's my whole philosophy, is you want to start out with the mildest approach possible to respect the tool. Looking for functionality here. So what is the purpose of this post? Well, you need the threads to be in good condition so that they will attach to the magnetic block here. You need the ball end here to be nice and smooth so you can put attachments to that. You'll have sliding attachments that go along this part of the post. So yeah, keeping the patina is one thing, but if it impedes the function of the tool, then yeah, you want to get that stuff off. And in this case, I've tried a mild approach, and that seems to be time consuming. I don't like how I'm probably going to be rather inconsistent on that. I think I'd get much better results. I think I'm going to put this bad boy on a lathe, start with a coarser sandpaper, work my way down to fine, and I might even just finish it touching with this or other media. There's all sorts of approaches on that, down to using a buffing wheel. So in another video, you'll probably see this all cleaned up. And that's about all I got for this. Just a few pointers on sanding technique and cleaning up a really sweet, fully functional, good to go, lasts a lifetime Starrett number 657. Okay, thanks for watching.